Welcome back, you beauties. Yes, as we have said all morning, spring has officially sprung. And as we step into September, it's crucial to prepare our gardens for the new season, just like we prepare ourselves. And one of our favorites, Ben Getz, the founder of the incredible Urban Harvest edible gardens that have transformed, I think, how many of us see our spaces, is here to guide us through some essential tips and strategies to help you make the most out of your gardening efforts. So whether you're a seasoned gardener or just starting out or somewhere in between, get ready to learn some practical advice. That's what it's about, because we want to get our hands dirty. Buddy, it is so good to see your face,
It's great
man.
to see you too, and it's great to be here. Thanks for having
dude,
me.
we love you. We love what you represent, because you are ideal for us in terms of bringing green, bringing the outdoors, indoors. You've just figured it out. But it comes with a list of conundrums to those of us that aren't well practiced in the space. Limited space, limited light. Maybe you can take us through some of the big challenges when working in smaller spaces and how you've been able to overcome them.
For sure. I think the first thing you actually mentioned is light. If you're wanting, we're talking about growing food. So this is edible gardens, edible flowers, herbs, vegetables. They all want light. It's very easy to...
That's how they become food.
Exactly, photosynthesis. That they're making beautiful sugars that taste delicious to us. It's very easy to bring shade and to cool the plants down, but it's very difficult to bring the light. So if you're starting a vegetable garden, the first question is, where are you going to put it? So you need to find a nice, sunny, hot corner. If you don't have a space like that, think about rooftop, think about vertical spaces. And there's another option, which is even reflectors. So you can use mirrors, windows. There needs to be some light and some warmth for it to work. That's the first thing.
Okay.
The second thing is soil. So it's sunlight, soil, 2 S's. And the third thing is selection, which plants you're going to select. So the 3 S's. So first you're going to, for example, this is a container garden, or at least this is an example of a ready grown small container garden. It's
exploding.
It's exploding. There's so much to harvest from there. There's fragrance, there's color. I mean, you've got thyme, you've got marjoram, you've got very beautiful Swiss chard. We also call it spinach, red vein sorrel, flat leaf parsley, celery. These are all things that we can use on a daily basis.
And quite comfortably, all growing literally in the same room, like in their own tiny little space.
Yeah, I mean, this is less than 30 centimeters by 20 centimeters. It's a very small space. This is almost twice the size, and we can get a whole lot more in here. So using a container is essential. I mean, you can get super creative. You can use the back of an old TV. Upcycle
for sure. Before we get onto the building of the soil, because I know that's where your alchemy comes to bear. I absolutely love that part of the process. But when selecting, because you say selection is key here. How do we what informs that decision? When we're looking at our edibles, specifically the herbs and the foods that we can eat, how do we go about selecting the complementary plants?
So the first thing for sure is season, and everybody's talking about spring. It's a lovely warm day in Cape Town today. And it's a very exciting time to plant. In Cape Town, you can actually plant all year round. Almost every week of the year you could be planting, but spring is the most exciting time, because suddenly we've gone from soft leafy greens right through winter to now we're planting tomatoes, aubergines, peppers, chilies, zucchinis. There's a wide variety. I can't cover them all here, but what I can say is that it's very easily available online. Seasonal planting list for winter rainfall regions in South Africa.
Urbanharvest.co.za. Just as a jumping off point, start there, ask questions. It almost feels like we've missed a beat here. We spend so much time. There are so many beautiful gardens that we can't eat across South Africa, yet this is the core of what you do. What is that kind of precipice or that step that we need to take? Because surely we could all be growing our own food.
Honestly, the way to start is go with quality, not quantity. Start with something small, get it right. The message I'd like to leave everyone with is you can definitely do it. It's really easy. It is 3 S's. It's sunlight, good soil, and then a selection of plants. And you did ask, quite wrap that one up about the selection. There's so much to choose from, but diversity is strength.
Okay.
Harmony in diversity. It's the same as with us. I've got a selection here where we've got edible flowers, perennial herbs, annual herbs, lettuces, just a
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's get our hands dirty.
Cool.
Take us through the process of actually the potting, if you will. Yeah.
So this is a container garden. I've actually filled it with organic material. This happens to be wood chip. It's mulch. This is a way of saving money because what you're actually doing is you're filling the planter with what will become compost, but this is the kind of thing that most people can find quite easily. So I've filled this almost
You've probably
3/4.
cut this out of your garden right now in preparation for spring,
Exactly.
you know?
And then what I've done is we like to mix our own potting soil, but this is just a good quality potting soil that I've bought from a nursery. And that's accessible to anybody.
For sure.
It's, potting soil is essentially a mixture of sand and compost. And compost is really important, especially with edible gardens. If you're looking at indigenous, the plants are less hungry, but when it comes to food, almost all of the crops you want to plant will want high nutrient dense soil. And it's not just about nutrients, it's also about the life in the soil, the beneficial bacteria, fungi, protozoa, the microorganisms, also then things like earthworms.
It's the ecosystem. I love that. Just we're obviously not going to have time to do a full planting here, but maybe if you can give us lastly some advice on how to plant. How deep do we need to go and how close do plants need to be?
What I would say is you've got to get a big mix of color, a mix of diversity. In this case, for example, it's a nice thing even before you plant just to lay out your plants and see, does it look good? Obviously, as you do this longer, you get to learn how big the plants go, and you need to make sure that they all have space. But if your soil is rich and dense, nutrient dense, you can plant a lot more in a small space. As I said, quality versus quantity. Small space, high density, nutrient-rich soil, you can plant a lot of plants, and it's also much easier to look after. You just need to look after this.
This is a balcony. This is a windowsill. This is right on your doorstep. I absolutely love that. In fact, on our show, we are all about quantity or quality over quantity. So I absolutely understand that. urbanharvest.co.za is where you go to get the plugin. If you want to find out more, ask Ben any questions, and then happy planting. And speaking of quality over quantity, time now to hand over to my brilliant friend over there.